I hate the spring. Hey, what's up, bookworms? Mike back with another weekly update, the last for May. We're just going to keep on rolling along. It's weird about this whole time thing. You can't do anything about it. It just keeps going forward. It's really weird. Lots of things going on this week. Yes, the voice is a little messed up. Good old allergies still just continue to make me hate the season of spring so much. So that is why the voice sounds a little funky here. But we're going to still, the show must go on. So let's do like we always do, guys. Let's get into what am I reading, guys. I finished The Fall of Hyperion. Now, I'm going to talk about it in my review. I don't want to regurgitate what I said last week in the weekly update. But, It's tempting to use the D word, which is disappointment. But I want people to understand that it's nothing that Dan Simmons, nothing against his writing at all. It was just a story direction that he took that wasn't really what I was kind of hoping for. And I'll get into that in depth when I do that review. But it didn't hold a candle to Hyperion, which obviously, like I said, I feel like is a top 3 sci-fi book of all time, so I'm trying not to hold that against it. But I'll get more into it then. Also, remember last week, guys, I said I'm going to try to fit in Congo by Michael Crichton before June. Yeah, I did it. I finished it already. I finished it in 3 days. Here's the thing with Congo. It really, with all Michael Crichton, is while I was reading that, reading it so fast, it kind of just took me back to why I love Michael Crichton in high school. It was like every year or two, pretty much every year there during the 90s. It was like you wait for that one time a year where Mr. Crichton came out with a new book, and you read it in like a night or two. It kind of reminded me of that. All of his books are easily digestible, I think. They're highly entertaining, and Congo is no different. Like I said, I felt like Congo was the one where he actually, went from like, I kind of like this writing thing on the side where I feel like he became a full-time novelist. That's the first one I feel like really had like the 3-act structure for real in his story, and really it felt like a novel for the first time. And when I get that review, I think I'm going to spend more time trashing that movie than I did talking about the book, but not really. It's a great book, and I hope you guys will pick it up if you're doing that read along, and if you're not, just pick it up anyway, because Congo is one of the good ones. I did go ahead and start Persepolis. That's the last book in Raya Revelations, and I've got about 60 pages left, you guys. I was hoping I would finish it today. Maybe I'll finish it after I'm done recording this. I'm not sure. I know that we do have something that we're going to do after I finish this, and I'll talk about when I get to TV and movies. But I've talked about Raya a lot this week on the channel, which we'll talk about in a minute. But I think that when people say, oh, they're easy reads, they mistake that for 2 things. 1, that they're not worth your time, and 2, that they're predictable. There's been so many twists in Persepolis that predictable is a word I would not use anywhere near that book. But yes, I'm on my last 60 pages. Bittersweet, because I hate to see this point of the timeline come to a close. But I do know that there is obviously lots of other stuff in the Raya universe to continue with. So it's kind of the end of Act 1, I think, for my time with Raya. And then, guys, yes, I've continued reading Berserk. I'm at about volume 9, about halfway through volume 9 right now. Yes, not a surprise, guys. It's as good as advertised. It is really good. Look, I'm easily sold on a couple of things. The fantasy coming-of-age story, which it has, and a lot of blood and violence, which it definitely has. But the book has I'm going to call it a book, it has a lot of heart in it, too. I was talking with this to some people on the Discord today, is that I don't think that this story is nihilism, because there are a lot of people that are trying to do good in this world, and it's about not giving up. At least that's what I'm getting so far, and about the pursuit of dreams. So there's lots of things I would call hopeful in this story. So I know that a lot of people are telling me it's grimdark fantasy. I'm just really considering it dark fantasy right now. When you get in that grimdark category, it gets so convoluted or whatever. But I feel like it is kind of a bleak world, but I don't feel like it's hopeless, like a Malazan or a First Law or something like that. So I know that the grimdark label is something that we're always going to argue about, whatever. But as far as that doesn't matter, it's a really good story. And I can't wait to talk to you guys about it. I'm going to be talking about it a little bit this week. But let's get into what am I going to read now. Obviously, I'm going to finish Rider Revelations. I'm going to continue reading Berserk. And then, guys, Tuesday, we all start June the 1st on House of Chains by Steven Erikson. This is Malazan number 4, Book of the Fallen. I'm excited that there are so many people who are wrapping up Memories of Ice, and they're like, I've made it. I was racing against the clock to make it before June 1st. I really think that us all starting on the same day is really going to help the conversation. Like I said, ever since I made those changes on the channel, it seems like the conversation has went back to where it was when we first started. So I'm very excited that a lot of people are still along with me. And guys, if you want to catch up, it's fine. Like I said, we're doing one every other month. There's time for you to catch up if you want. Obviously, you just haven't started yet. It might be a little tough. But, you do one a month. Maybe you can catch up, by the time we get to book 6 or something. We'd love to have you. It's a great time. But that's pretty much all I'm going to be doing for a while. And then I'm going to be going on vacation on the 9th, but I will be taking, obviously, my Kindle with me. So I'll be doing finishing Malazan on the beach, but we'll talk about that when it gets a little closer here. I do have some kind of news. This isn't really in what I'm going to read. I mean, I guess it's kind of a long forecast for something like that. Yeah, my voice is struggling, you guys. Joe Abercrombie did reach out to me about a review copy of Wisdom of Crowds, which is awesome. I did get to do Trouble with Peace last year. But, when your favorite living fantasy author reaches out to you, it's always a surreal moment. But he basically emailed me and said, yeah, I know who you are. And I don't know where you heard this myth that I do not like to do interviews. After you read Wisdom of Crowds, you want to get together and do an interview. We can definitely do that. So I am very, very excited. That will be, obviously, one of my bucket list interviews. Stephen King is never going to happen, obviously. I don't think the man even, I think he still uses snail mail, so that would never happen. That'd be the only other one. Sanderson's, he doesn't need me to sell books, so I don't think that he would ever come on the channel. But, hey, it's really cool getting to talk to a lot of these authors and stuff like that, and being able to talk to Joe Abercrombie is going to be just fantastic, and that will be happening obviously closer this fall with Wisdom of Crowds. That's book 3 in the Age of Madness, the second trilogy in the First Law universe, and it's I guess third trilogy, I guess, because the standalones were still kind of called the standalone trilogy, so to speak. So the 9th book in that universe will be coming out in September, and obviously I'll be getting it a little earlier to read, but I read Trouble Peace in like 3 days, so I don't imagine this will be any different. I mean, it's the First Law book. Everything stops, so very exciting times for the channel to be able to one, have like I said, your favorite living fantasy author contact you and be like, yeah, I know who you are, and two, be willing to come on and talk with you. I can't wait. It's going to be a blast. I hope he doesn't kill me off during that interview. Let's get into this week on the channel, guys. We did do a new Why You Should Read for the Rider Revelations. This is something I wanted to do before I spoke with Mr. Sullivan, which I also did. But the Why You Should Read Rider, it, to me, is, like I said, people have kind of got this misconception that, oh, well, people say they're easy reads. That must mean it's not really worth it. Look, if you're like a Brandon Sanderson fan, this is right up your alley. It's about the same level of violence. It has way better romance. And I think that the dialogue and your two leads are just magnetic. And I think anyone that loves fantasy will do it. Yeah, no, it's not grimdark. It's not a completely hopeless world whatsoever. Bad things do happen. Characters do die, things like that. But yeah, it very, very much feels like a throwback to like 80s fantasy, but for like a modern era. And it's just a great, great series. As I'm about to wrap it up here, I was very excited to talk about it and try to sell some people on it. I hope that you'll give it a chance because it is just phenomenal. I haven't gotten anybody that I have gotten to read it. None of them have told me that they did not like it yet. So that's a pretty good batting average. But we did go ahead and talk with Michael J. Sullivan on the channel, and that was a lot more fun than I was expecting. Not that I was expecting it to be bad. I didn't expect to also speak with his wife, Robin, who really gave me a peek behind the curtain of how the publishing business works, because she is basically his agent. She handles all the business side, and he just writes. And she really kind of, got into the nuts and bolts of what happens behind the scenes with the publishing, just how publishing works. And it was a really great time talking with both of them. Very, very friendly people. We talked for about an hour after the interview concluded. So very, very awesome people, and I'm glad that they came on. I hope you guys will give his books a shot, because the guy writes like a machine, and from all the feedback I've got, his other series are just as great as Right Era Revelations. I will probably find out when I start Legends of the First Empire, but probably not until next year, just because I got so much going on with Malazan this year. And then I closed down Memories of Ice, but not really. I kind of had to do things out of order just because of scheduling conflicts. I wasn't going to be able to get AP Canavan on later in the month, so we went ahead and did it now. And we talked for 2 hours, guys. I just decided with that I wasn't going to put any kind of time limit on these things because the only people that are watching those are hardcore Malazan fans, you know. So that's not something that I do thinking, oh, this is going to get like 10,000 views or something like that. That's just something I do because with the audience that's sticking with me on this read-along, I feel like it's conversations that they'd be interested in hearing. And AP has got to be one of the most intelligent people I've talked to, even though he gives a nice diatribe about the word intelligent on there. And it's just a great, great conversation. So anytime I can talk to Professor Fireball, as it were, is a great time. But we had a great discussion. I think we talked for about 45 minutes before we started, and about 15 minutes after it ended. So we talked for about 3 hours on Sunday. It was a great, great time and lots of good feedback. And in fact, Steven Erickson actually even messaged me and said he enjoyed the talk. And I guess I can go ahead and tell you guys that too. After Midnight Tides, he's not going to be my veteran guest, but kind of my halfway check-in. Steven Erickson is going to come on the channel and talk with me. So, guys, things are just looking up on the author interview spectrum. I can't wait because it's so many things I feel like I can pick his brain about. And he can really give me a final explanation for why his series is not grimdark, right? But yeah, guys, look, real life has just been kind of bogging me down. It's not just this throat crud here that you hear. Lots of stuff going on in personal life. You know, we busted our balls to get that kid's birthday party done. I don't know if you guys have kids. You know, it's like trying to get a birthday party together. It is not fun. But lots of stuff going on with my employment, behind the scenes stuff that I won't bore you with or whatever. But just lots of real life things have really bogged me down. And like I said, I've been feeling a little under the weather. Really, I just find myself coming home every day and just, you know, after dinner, just kind of vegging out on the couch and just reading. So, I mean, I've kept reading, but, you know, getting up here and actually like recording and stuff, I've been really struggling finding the energy to do that lately. So, I will try to pick it up this week, but I know that, you know, this week I had 2 interviews and one Why You Should Read, and that's not the usual level of content we have on the channel. I know several videos I said I was going to do last week, like the Memories of Ice review, like the Eaters of the Dead review, did not happen because I just ran out of time and stuff. But I'm going to try to fix that, guys, with next week plans. Now, next week plans, I will officially wrap up Memories of Ice this weekend. I'm going to do my favorite characters, and I'm going to do my standard non-spoiler review for Memories of Ice over the weekend. I don't usually put out stuff on the weekend, but, you know, I've been so hammered during the week, I'm just going to have to figure it out. We do have the long weekend here in the States with Memorial Day, so I figure I can go ahead and knock those out. I will do my Eaters of the Dead review, like I said, for Crichton, because we are already going into the next month here, so I need to get that wrapped up. I will be wrapping up the month of May. That's obviously something that I'm going to do, because wrapping up the months, atrocious month, by the way, for growth, but, you know, we'll get into that when it gets there. And then I feel like the mourning period, I feel like I've been respectful enough to that. Guys, I recorded my Why I Decided to Read Berserk by Kentaro Miura. I recorded that about 24 hours before it was announced that he died. So I decided I was going to hold that off. So it is a little dated. I did put together an intro for it last night, though, to go along with it. But I'm going to put that out sometime next week because, like I said, I feel like I wanted to give a little bit of a mourning period. Like right now, I see people that are like basically selling stuff off like it's a tribute to Kentaro Miura, and then they're selling it on their websites to make money and capitalizing off of his death. And I didn't want to be that guy. I knew if I did a video like the day he died, obviously it was going to get a lot more traffic than it probably usually would. But no, I definitely want to do that. I want to keep it very respectful. But I just want to get that out before the video because I don't mention his death in that video because, like I said, I recorded it right before I had only read like volume 1 at that point. And it was before I knew about his passing, so, or before any of us really knew about his passing. So, like I said, I want to give it a week or two to kind of rest out of respect. But it is going to be a very respectful bit of coverage on the channel for Berserk, and I'll talk about that when you guys see that video next week sometime. That's pretty much it for books, you guys. There are a couple of TV and movie talk things. I know we love those, right? Jeff Bezos woke up in the middle of the night and decided, you know what? I'm just going to buy MGM Studios. So $8.5 billion Amazon does acquire MGM Studios. That's including James Bond, by the way. So I imagine we will be getting a James Bond reboot here really soon, probably direct to Amazon, unless Amazon's going to do a thing where they start trying to put movies in theaters. I thought Netflix would eventually do that. To me, it's time. Daniel Craig's been great. He's pretty old. I think that we need to get a younger James Bond again. I think that would be fine. I'm still rooting for either Henry Cavill or James McAvoy, but we all have those dream castings that never, ever come true. But the neater thing of that to me is that they now own the rights to Stargate. So could we finally see a nice continuation of the Stargate universe on Amazon, or just a straight-up reboot? I wouldn't be against it. I would definitely like some more Stargate in my life. So exciting times, I think. I've heard a lot of people say, oh, this is bad news. You know, they're buying up all these studios. I was like, look, if Amazon didn't do it, Apple or Google or Disney were going to do it. So it's just, this is the time we live in, guys. It's going to happen. I didn't want Disney having one more studio, you know. So I guess I'm glad they're kind of spreading it around, I guess. I don't know. I wish someone would buy Warner Brothers and it would be a really big DC Comics fan, but you know, that's the discussion for another time. Hey, you guys still watch Always Sunny in Philadelphia? You must, because it's about to hit its 15th season. This makes it the longest running live action sitcom of all time, surpassing Ozzie and Harriet. Ask your parents about that one. Ozzie and Harriet, wow, I think that was like my parents' parents. Yeah, I don't know. That's pretty old, but Always Sunny in Philadelphia is one of those I feel, to me, is kind of like South Park, in that it's found a way to still be funny and relevant all these years later. A lot of shows that get that long in the tooth, they start to feel like a chore to watch. I feel like with Always Sunny, it's kind of like South Park in that occasionally you get one episode that just doesn't really land, but 9 out of 10, you're still in tears laughing. And yeah, you're going to be more Frank and Mac and the gang. I'm always going to be down to watch more Always Sunny in Philadelphia. But that's a great milestone for them. And I love the show. And if you haven't watched it, guys, you are in for a treat, because you got so much content out there to watch. Please check out Always Sunny in Philadelphia. As for other than that, after this, we were talking about watching the Friends reunion on HBO Max. I know that Friends has become like a thing that people, younger audiences now, I think, try to trash on or whatever. I don't know about all that. Like when The Office got real big on Netflix and Parks and Rec got real big in hindsight. Not that it wasn't when it was on. I'm just saying it seemed like it was really in hindsight. Everybody started being like, oh, well, all those sitcoms are better than Friends or whatever. To me, it's like, it's okay to like more than one thing. I've never been a tear something down to build something up type. So I watched Friends from beginning to end. I never missed an episode. I was 15 when the show came out. So yeah, it was just regular viewing for me in high school, and I loved it. And so I've heard good things about the reunion, actually. Usually most of those were just kind of cringy, you know, but I've actually heard some good things about it. And I'm looking forward to seeing what surprise cameos that they have on there. I think the only one that's been spoiled for me was Tom Selleck. And hey, I just spoiled it for you. But yeah, it's a show that I always found really dear. And, you know, yeah, sure, the last couple of years were kind of a chore. But you know what? The good far outweighs the bad. So you'll never hear me say anything bad about Friends. And I will be there for you. So guys, that was my week. What is your week looking like? Hopefully your voice sounds better than mine. What are you watching? What are you reading? What are you listening to? What are you playing? Drop in the comments and let me know, and have yourselves a great weekend, and I will see you there.